Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Sorry for being so silent on YouTube. I moved and it's been crazy getting this all set up, but today we're doing another educational event. I'm going to some Girl Scouts at a church and I'll be bringing some animals. I plan on bringing Coconut, two of the frogs, Helios, it's his first show, Phoenix of course, and Chubby Little Shortcake. Now that we know who's going, it's time to make their temporary enclosures and get them all packed up. So here are my very basic containers just to keep everyone safe so nothing moves around while we're in the car. Helios, Phoenix, two frogs, Shortcake, and here's Coconuts. And although we aren't leaving for about an hour, I'm going to take advantage of Coconut being out right now because sometimes he's the hardest to catch. Hi, honey. And I say he's hard to catch because he actually uses his cork hides, so sometimes I have to maneuver him out. But I knew that if I missed it, I would get him out. Hi! And especially since crested geckos get very anxious with change, I like to give Coconut a little bit of time to get used to his new space, especially before he gets used to a bunch of children touching him. Love you, buddy. I figured I'd feed Helios while I had some time, and then I'll bring some super worms for him to eat, hopefully in front of the kids. If not, then I know Phoenix will eat them. If you were a good boy, you could get worms and go to the show, but you're not, so you're staying here. I put some worms in with Phoenix just to give him a little treat because everyone's happier with a full stomach. Next, I packed up Shortcake in this ventilated dirt tub. He's the easiest to pack up and to show pretty much, and I also gave him a Pinky Mouse yesterday, so he's nice and chunky. And while Shortcake's easy to catch, these bastards are not. Aw, wait, you're actually being really sweet. I love you. Never mind, I take it back. I'm ready now. Bam. Just don't jump in the sink. Release. Go. Bam. Leaf always acts like he's in frog jail. You are fine. So this is everything I'm bringing. We have Phoenix, Helios, Shortcake, Leaf, and Wasabi, along with Coconut. And then I bring paper towels, Mr. Normal Towel, and some food. And I normally bring stickers for the kids, but I realized that I don't have any. So I'm gonna bring these fake bugs and snakes. Maybe they'll want them, and if not, then that's okay. And then my mom picked me up and we were on our way. This is me starting the presentation with Phoenix and then me walking around for him to give out pets. And when the girls were done, they drew their own animals. And I'm happy that even without stickers, these rubber toys were still a hit. And now I will go on to answering your guys' questions that you asked on my Instagram. The first one was, how did I get into this? And it originally started because my college, it's smaller, so we did a pet day. So I was able to bring my animals into the honors college and present there. And then I always showed my animals to like neighbors or anyone that ever came to our house. And one of my neighbors is a first grade teacher and she asked if I would ever be interested to bring my animals. And that was the first show I ever did. Future editing Maddie cutting in to say, I did a show at my college and technically that counts as my first show, but I didn't walk around with the animals. I just printed out info about them because I was still working the front desk. So that's why I say that when I did my first show, it was with the first graders because I actually walked around and I did a whole presentation. Okay, back to the questions. And this wasn't an asked question, but I figured it would be a good idea to put in here. How do you guys get into doing this? So I would first start off by trying to find a smaller group that you could give out flyers to. So maybe you know someone who's a teacher, you know someone who has a Girl Scout troop, Boy Scout troop, maybe you have someone that's homeschooled and you have a co-op you can go to. Or another thing you could do, you could just print out flyers and go to the mall, go to playgrounds, don't be creepy. Go to schools, ask if you can leave a flyer, if any of their teachers might be interested. Add some Facebook groups to your Facebook. Get to know the homeschool groups around you, that sort of thing. Alright, back into the Instagram asked questions. The next one was, how much do I make at every show? And currently I have my rate set at $45 an hour. I chose to do that because, look at me, I chose that for gas, and it's also, in a way, to me, it's kind of $15 for an hour. So the hour that I'm there, I get $15, and then the hour that I need to load up the animals and put everyone home, I count that as the hour before and hour after. So 3 times 15, 45. Now the next two questions are actually based on the animals, which is very nice. The first one is, how do I keep everyone climate controlled? And the honest answer is, I kind of can't. So I always try to do shows in between March and May. It gets really hot here in Arizona, so as long as I can keep my car temperature down, then I'm okay. They'll be all right in a cooler area for an hour, and then I bring them home as soon as we're done with the show. So I don't bring heat mats, I don't bring heat. They're in a smaller enclosure, so that does help provide them some comfort and keep them warmer. But yeah, I don't bring any temp anything. And our last question is 2 parts and very important, I think. The first part is, how do I keep all the animals safe? First thing, very small containers. Second, nothing in those containers. So I will usually bring the frogs in one of these. Sometimes I'll bring coconut in one of these as well and transfer him over. This time I didn't, because I felt that piece of wood and it was really stuck in there. And honestly, when I put coconut in one of those enclosures, he hangs to the roof, so he's fine. And same goes for my bigger dudes like Helios and Phoenix. I will put them in, I believe, a 2-gallon tub from Lowe's with ventilation holes and just substrate. If you feel like your animal's sliding around, I found that you can rip up cardboard and have it with the lines up, and the nails of your gecko will kind of scratch into that and they'll keep them more stationary. Also, when I did my longer show at the college, the animals were there for about 4 hours because that's how long my shift was. I made Phoenix a hide out of foam. So there's just the foam squares that you can get from Michael's. I hot glued one end, curved it, and glued it in. And then you can just rip it out when you're done. So yes, my tips on having your animals safer is smaller enclosures, just substrate, and if you think they need a hide, glue it down and make sure it's soft. For this last question, I got Phoenix out mostly to show how I handle animals that move more at shows, if he decides to move. So I always have 2 hands out so they can continue to cross, and you can notice my hands get sweaty, but you always want to give him somewhere to climb on. So he's gotten used to climbing on my arms this way, but since he's so good, I can trust him like this. But when I'm standing, it can be even scarier. So this is why you want 2 hands at all times. So usually I'll show him like this at first, and then the girls can go by and do 2 fingers. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope I answered all your questions to the amount that you wanted, and we will see you in the next one.